Yo. Okay, back at it. So, yesterday we were working on the agent logic, or fuck, I don't want to use the term agent these days. It's pretty much taken by something else, but let's say NPC logic, or I don't know, something else. And we came upon a little bit of a problem, not that big of a problem, but rather than keeping on pushing with the current implementation of some other modules, we're gonna do a little bit of a side mission today and probably on Monday. Depends on how productive I can manage to be today. In the current implementation, or in the system, I went with a polymorphic approach for my world objects, something I called entity, also something else these days when it comes to Unity. But let's just say this. I wanted to have like a super class for all my objects in the game world. So static objects like rocks or the terrain was a entity. And then we have a dynamic entity, which is a subclass of entity. And that is for every entity in the world that is dynamic but don't really have any agency on their own. So we're talking leak, fruits, stuff like that. We want them to roll around, be movable, etc., but they don't move by themselves. And then we have animate entity, which is also dynamic and a subclass of dynamic entity. And that is the first entity that has some agency on their own, right? And finally, we have playable entity, which is a subclass of animate entity. It has an agency, but the agency is the player's agency. So, as the name suggests, it's an entity that is player controlled. And so far, this has worked pretty good, and I think we can still make it work. Although this results in a code base structure that I would really like to take a step away from. So I've been thinking about, and that's what we're going to do today, is that we're going to break up the current implementation of entity. And instead, we are going to let the components pretty much build up what type of entity it is. So I think we're going to have... we're going to replace entity with like world object. That's just going to be a class for every object that is in our game world. Rocks, fruits, playable entities, dynamic entities, everything is going to have world object. And that's pretty much just like, you can see it as an extension of like the transform component in Unity. It's going to keep track of a lot of useful stuff for the world object. Cache stuff. So we easily want to fetch like maybe bounds or colliders and stuff like that, and the world object entity will keep track of these. So instead of calculating the bounds based on all of the colliders of an object on the fly, the world object is going to keep track of them at startup, and then we can just fetch them easily and quickly. Then we're going to have dynamic entities, which are going to have a component that defines dynamic entity. I haven't really I don't really know what I want to name it just yet, but we're going to get to it. And so a static rock will just have world object component. An apple will have world object together with this dynamic component. So that's what differs them. And then we have animate entity, and that's where our agent comes into play. Agent is going to replace animate entity. So the difference between a static rock and a blob, for instance, will be this agent instance component. And then for the playable character, we're just going to have a player component. So instead of letting this super component keep track of everything and tell us where in this hierarchy it is or what kind of object it is, the collection of components is going to do it. I think like the entire idea with this, how like the super component we have had now, entity and so on, is that we want it to, maybe we will take up more memory at runtime, but we will do less processing pretty much, and that's what I'm aiming for. The game is pretty lightweight on both those right now, but eventually we're gonna have a lot of calculations done in real time because we're gonna have a lot of agents running around. Yo, what's up, Skafer? Let's say that I'm in a much better place today when it comes to the approach we're gonna take than I was at the end of last stream. I've recently committed everything, so no matter how much we fuck up today, we can always bring it back, so to speak. How about you, Skafer? How are you feeling today? Yes, let's just jump into it. So I'm gonna start by... So the goal today is to get rid of these four, basically. Which means that we're going to rework this a tiny bit, but I think it's okay. Skafer, I had a horrible sleep again, so feeling not wonderful for sure. Sorry to hear, sorry to hear. And it's extremely relatable. I've had like a couple of weeks now with very bad sleep. Just recently managed to get it on track again. And one of the parameters that helped me, or one of the things that helped me a lot with the sleep, is to actually do some very heavy exercise. Easier said than done, though. So let's take a look at entity, and I wonder if delay collider assignment. Delay collider assignment. I wonder if this is because this is also something I would like to get rid of. I want a more streamlined startup pipeline, pretty much. And I wonder if... I think we're gonna do it... I think we're gonna get rid of it and do it in startup always. That's not true. The problem as I see it is if we take a look at, if we think about, so we're going to generate creatures on the fly, which means that we are probably going to generate colliders in a wake, which means that we have to do this here. The only problem being that we probably have some other components that we want to utilize this one. So we probably have some interactable components like inspect that needs this information. Escape for the weather that was just at 40 degrees Celsius a couple of days ago is getting up to 40 degrees Celsius again. And what I observed is that I have a poor sleep when it's very hot outside. Oh, fucking hell, you're not alone. 40 degrees Celsius is insane. Here where I live, we had a couple of 35 degrees days now this summer. And around 30 degrees at night, I think, worst case scenario. And honestly, it sucked. Straight up. Like, the only thing I could tell myself during those high heat waves was that just hold on, soon there will be fall and lower temperatures. Okay, so the way we're gonna do this is, you know what? I think I know how we're gonna do this. We're gonna do it in start only. Let's see, instantiation setup, delay collider assignment. Fuck that. Original layer we want to keep. And colliders we want to keep. And we don't care about protected this time around. We want to make this information provider as well. Skater, speaking about exercises, a couple of weeks ago I had a bad week mentally and have gone to the gym at all. Then it subsided and I started training from the ground up. A week passed, I was feeling okay, and then I got sick again and wasn't going out for a week. And this week again I started all over again with light exercises because I lost 2 kilos of weight. Also extremely relatable, and it sucks. Like, I hate when you finally get the routine going of exercise and work and whatnot, and then life strikes you down with a best case scenario, sickness, I guess, worst case scenario, way worse. A tip I got was that, like, it depends on how sick you get, but always try to do something. So if you usually do like weightlifting and then you get sick, just go for a very slow walk when you usually would exercise in the gym, just to keep the routine going, you know. As for the second one, I wouldn't hope to get blasted from space just yet. This timeline might actually work out, or I'm still trying to be optimistic, you know. Okay. With focus, use origin. Action. Target. Point of interest. Yes. Use origin. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay. Let's think about this one. I think we're gonna skip this one for our world object, honestly. Get point of interest. Yeah, we don't really care about get point of interest here. What we care about is we just care about the target position. It's going to be up to the focus to actually make the entity, whatever it is, look in the correct position. So this is time for some streamlining here. So yeah, we skip this as well. And then we have dictionary, game actions type, game actions interactables, interactable. This one we want to keep. I think we're also going to do using game.actions. This you know what? I think we're going to do this instead. And I think the public get in this case is it was only used to debug some stuff. So let's simplify it by doing this. Marked for destruction. This is also something I would like to... Don't we have this by default, actually? Does Unity... Okay, we don't. Destroy event is also something I want to get rid of. Yeah, I know it's the right pattern. I just would like to design it without the need for this flag. The problem is, I wonder if we can handle it ourselves. Like, I think the scenario why we had this in the first place is when we have a world object that is used by many other objects at the same time. So for instance, like a consumable is being held and maybe consumed at the same time. We want to be able to tell when it's fully consumed. We want like the chain reaction to work properly. So when it's fully consumed, we want hold to stop holding the object, and so on. And we are gonna do it without this for now, and is playable. Yeah, this is something we're gonna get rid of as well with this new system, so this is good. And then we have renderers as well. We're gonna have colliders, and we're gonna have renderers. We wait with this. Velocity. We hold on with this one as well. Original layer we want to fetch instantly. So honestly, bam. Do this, and then we have, yeah, we cached it like this. I think I would like to rely on this. On destroy, interactable destroy. This might be good to do, so we're gonna do this. Yeah, exactly. That's how we solved it. Can perform action. We're going to skip this. We're going to skip this. Can receive action. This one we want to keep. Oops, not here. Get interactable. This one we want as well. Add interactable. This one we want. width. Actually, let's write this in a different way. Return false, otherwise we return this one and we return, actually, okay. Get renderer bounds. This one we want, enabled only. Get collider bounds, this one we want as well. Although I wonder. Yes. So let's see. So I'm wondering in this case, we don't want to do all of these calculations over and over for render and collider bounds. So we want to flag it, right? If we have calculated it and nothing has changed, we just fetch the value. But the question is, how are we going to flag it? So for world object itself, it's never going to change, but we might add like an agent component to something with world object, which might change it. That's changed, beautiful. That's great. You must reset it manually. I don't know what I think about having to clear it manually. Maybe. Scafer, I was also working with interactables yesterday. I already had an old simple system for that from a game jam. Was thinking about how would they work when there are multiple on screen. For now I made that an interactable that is the closest to the center of the screen becomes selected active. Oh yeah, that depends entirely on what control system you have, right? So in that case I take it you're working with first person. Which reminds me, since my early stream exit yesterday, I haven't checked your Blue Sky, but I promise I will do it today. First person, yeah, I figured. So in my case, it's gonna be... so right now during development, it's where the mouse pointer, in-game mouse pointer is. Very simple, but we're gonna do without mouse pointer eventually. So it's gonna be a... we're gonna highlight the interactable that is closest to the playable character, both in position but also in angle of view direction for that character, if that makes sense. So she will have to face the object. Okay, so let's see. This is definitely a way to do it, and I'm thinking of doing it like... world object. We're gonna do it like this time around. And we're gonna, let's see here, get collider bound. Transform position vector 3, 0 for each collider in colliders. Where... yeah, enabled only. That screws it up a tiny bit. I wanna see... we're not using this one anymore, are we? So in this case, we're So this one is false, so we always check this one. Fuck, does this even make sense? Yeah. Yeah, we don't care about trigger. So in this case, we're gonna do where C is enabled. And C is not a trigger. But also, so we can probably check. Something like that, and then we want to do, can we get an autocomplete here? Oops. Almost. Transform has changed. Render. Something like that. Get information priority. Set parent. We're actually not gonna have this one in world object. So that's okay. We leave that one. Set layer. Yeah, we want both of these. Oh, I need to fix. Yeah, we're gonna do. And then we do. Oh yeah. We're gonna do it like this. So here we instead we do if. But the problem here is that we might actually have a case where we want to get both of these in a... I guess we can do it like this. Like we might first fetch this one and then this one. We don't want to set this one just yet. That's a little bit of a problem. One sec. What can we do? I was wondering if we want to update render bounds here as well. So that would be something like... But... I think we want to rely on... Yeah, let's do this. Yo, what's up, Plays Dev? In short, I'm making a creature collecting game much like Chow Garden in Sonic. I have a few videos on my YouTube channel you can check out, both long form and short. Yeah, I want to see if we can do... if we can work with this. Because these calculations right here, we're gonna fetch them and work with them a lot. But you know what? Let's do it like this. Set layer, unset layer. Set layer, unset layer. Limit physics layer. This is something we're going to move to this is something we're going to move to the other component, which is probably going to be named physics object. Enable colliders, probably rigid body as well. Yeah, this one we want to have align with transform. We're gonna hold on that one, and sweep test. Gonna move to physics object, reset transform. Pretty sure also physics object. Get position. Yeah. Yes. We don't care about that one. We don't care about that one. Nor this one, nor this one here. So I think we're done with this one. Then we jump back here, let it compile, and then we're gonna add a physics object as well. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Best case scenario, world object and physics object shouldn't know about each other. But we'll see. So, actually, we're gonna have to. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Didn't we have get colliders? Well, let's do it like this. Okay, enable colliders. Did we put that one in? Yeah, we did. Enable rigid body, yes. That's the thing. Let's do... Yes. Unfortunately, this one gets... We have some order here. If we have... I would hope that the... Yeah, okay. Commonly. I guess we're gonna have to do... Don't we have... Yeah, we can do that. Work. Um, okay. Align with transform. We're gonna wait with this one, and I wonder... I think we're just gonna do this, even though it's a little bit frowned upon. We'll see what it yields. And then sweep test, we're gonna wait with these two. Reset transform. care about those as they are implemented here. Okay, I think that's it for entity. And so far, I like the split up much more than the polymorphism we had, because we had a lot of entity had to have a lot of stuff that like entity only objects shouldn't have. And this is a little bit more straightforward, a tiny bit. Animate entity. Internal name, display name. This is also eventually something I want to move to another component. So let's wait with that. Move ground related stuff to movement component. No. We're gonna have it here. I think we're gonna do it like this. One sec, we want to move to dynamic entity first, actually. Save local position, save local rotation, save local scale. Attribute handler. This is probably something we want to have in world object as well. I think I want all my world objects to have an attribute handler. Pretty sure. Because I'm thinking like static tree, we want to have some yeah, fuck yeah, we do. So we're gonna do world object Then we're gonna have might as well rely on that one for now. Okay, so that's that one, and then we want, yeah, we want these as well. This one we have, this one we have. We're gonna wait with this one. I want all the weight to go through attribute handler eventually. Oh yeah, we want to get the velocity here. But we're probably gonna move this one to attributes as well. Actually. So we're gonna wait with that one as well. Rigid body attribute handler we already have. Save current transform. Now we have Mm-hmm. The only difference that we need to get it first. Okay, update. Marked for destruction. Once again is kinematic. Turn, otherwise we call this one. Yes. Probably want to do this in another way eventually as well. But for now... And then occupy takes... But then again, occupy. The... Yeah, we'll reset this one. We want to handle it differently for static objects as opposed to... Yeah, we're gonna wait with this one. Like physics object. Save current transform we have. Set attribute handler we wait with that one. When would we ever want to change the attribute handler? Yeah, when we add it here. That's true. But also... This is not how we want to do it eventually, so we're gonna wait with that one. We're gonna have a add world object. node in our generation graph, and that one is gonna generate an attribute handler. For us. Okay. Enable rigid body we already have, but we have it like this. Let's see. Set layer we already have, but we want to set it on RB as well here. That is... we do it on Collider here. Okay, then we have limit physics layer, which I also think we already have. Except for... wonder if we might want to do this with child objects as well. Maybe. Align with transform. Yeah, we had a much simpler save current transform. And then we have the sweep tests. Okay, that's good. This one we have as well, if I recall. Reset transform. Reset transform. We only have reset transform. And then we have reset transform to save state. Yeah, I want to have this one up there as well. Get position, set position, get rotation, set rotation. We don't care about those. Okay. That is it for dynamic entity. So let's see, animate entity. Now we're talking. So in this case, agent instance. It's agent instance that is going to replace this one, basically. And we're going to do something I've been wanting to do for a while. I wonder how much problems we're going to get from this. Let's see. Action handler. So I need to remember here. So I want, honestly, to get rid of this one, I should say. Yeah, I think we can move this logic to agent, or I want to move this logic to agent. Much like world object keeps a list of interactables, so the ways something can be interacted with, this agent should keep a list of the possible actions the agent can do. The only problem being that I want to generate this list of actions both by graph and probably also by assignment in the editor, mostly for the playable character, that is. But agent systems on notification on parsing agent message. So we skip this one. We don't need serialized reference abstract selectable. Ground check. Yeah, this we probably want to move. Physics object. Think what kind of values do we have here, by the way? I would like to do this. Little bit differently, I think. I think we're gonna do it like this. Okay, let's take a look. I was hoping for something on the collider. Yeah, I don't want to go. Yeah, maybe we can do something like that later, but let's see. Yeah, I was hoping for something a little bit better, although... Don't we have... Mm, like I've had this question before. I would like a sweep test, but only against colliders of a certain layer. I guess that's why we have... guess we could do it this way. But... not 0.1 in distance, but rather... yeah, I guess we can do it this way right now. I will see what kind of result we get. Max distance. And then we also want layer mask, and here we want terrain base. That's not entirely true though. No, we just want to check it against everything. But yeah, let's try with this one and see what kind of result we get. As opposed to this one, which is a little bit better. Although, yeah. We're gonna do because I don't really know how much we're probably gonna have environment mask here as well, but yeah, we will see, because maybe, just maybe, we want to allow for physics objects jumping while standing on other physics objects. But yeah. That's way in the future. Yeah, let's go with a 10%. Okay, where were we? Animate entity, immobile. Is grounded body definition. Yes. Although I'm pretty sure. Okay, so the agent doesn't need to know about the body definition, I would say. Body definition is going to come into play way later. And is grounded flag, currently we use it in physics object because I felt like that's where it belongs, but like a physics object without an agent, so a physics object without agents, it doesn't really need to know if it's grounded or not, I reckon. So the is grounded flag is, or a more sophisticated is grounded flag is probably going to be made in body. Because right now it's a question of if an entity or if an agent can jump or not. And then we're only going to need to check the feet colliders, or the equivalent to feet. I don't know how the creature will look. Same with animator as well. Like the agent isn't gonna prompt, like the agent instance component isn't gonna prompt any animations and stuff like that. Instead, each action will prompt them depending on yeah, what they do and stuff like that. So both body definition and animator is something that's going to be moved to the specific actions that needs it, pretty much. Yes, action handler we're gonna skip. And then we have this one. Okay, so let's do it like agent instance. Apply attribute modifier. Yeah, you know what? Do we want a separate? I think we do. Yeah, fuck this. Delayed instantiation. Okay. We have action handler and then instantiate it. So I want to do can perform action, get action, and add action. All of these I want. In agent instance, private, private, private. And let's see, can perform action. Yo, what's up, Arkanan? Hell yeah. Oops. Get action. We need it for this. But let's see here. This is step 2 of the cleanup. It's probably going to be something similar to this. Get action, get action. We probably don't want to allow for get action eventually. This dependency between actions is probably going to be moved to agent instance, I reckon. Maybe, we'll see. But for now, I don't want to disrupt too much. Do I? This is also one of the things that has led to a little bit of a fighting what instantiates first and so on. So if we could get rid of that, that would be beautiful. Yeah, you know what? We want to... let's keep get action for now, but we're gonna get rid of that way of doing it eventually. Get action. Oops. Because also another thing, yeah, can perform action, get action. Okay, we want to do it like this. And then add action. I want to do something similar here to as we did in okay. Mm. This one is going to have to change as well, but we'll see. On process change. This I don't care about right now. Spawn agent message. Action on process change. Oops. Okay, so the way we're gonna do it now instead is instantiate and then animate entity host. Mm, maybe, just maybe. Keeping... No, we don't want to keep action handler. Okay. Let's see quickly if we can do anything nice with host here. Host attribute handler. Yeah, we want to move these as well. Probably gonna result in a few errors. Let's take a look at them one by one. If we were to do this crazy thing, yeah, we want to remove it entirely. Eventually. Okay, let's take a look. Yo. Okay, so here's the thing. Sit action. What I want to do here instead. In one way, we are gonna have to. Let's do. Initialize instantiate specifics. Yeah, what's up, better? So for now, we're gonna solve it by doing this. When we do action instantiate specifics, yes. So in sit, for instance, we're gonna need private, we're gonna need physics object. Enable movement is for, fuck is that? I enable, there we go. Enable movement mobile. Yeah, we didn't get this far, but agent instance Okay, for some reason, let's see, I'm not able to tab anymore. Only in VS Code. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Where were we here? Enable movement. Agent instance. Enable movement. Yes, action set. Post enable movement. Physics object align with transform. Post transform set parent. Didn't we have this one in? Feels like I want it in. Transform. Game object. Okay. And then we do do we only have a transform? Okay, let's do it like this then. Transform. Let's go back to this, and then we do physics object public void set parent like this, but we also want what position stays. And we have a host animator as well. Yes, so physics object. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can make it a little bit nicer eventually. We'll see. And then we have action lie. So here, yeah, we pretty much need the same things. We need an animator. 1 sec, lie. I know this is only gonna be called on instantiation, but like I'm wondering if we should cache this. I will see. animator as well. Like most of them will need the animator. Pretty sure. Rigid body. Instantiate specifics. And here we need not. Yeah, this we want to change as well. Pretty sure we don't want. That's not true. That's gonna be. like when I go through this, changing it manually like this, instead of just trying my hand at letting an agent do it, it's because I want to see the changes what changes are being made while I'm changing them, because like I have this idea of how we can streamline this, and just need to make sure it's possible and that we don't have any roadblocks. Probably possible so far. Okay. Okay. What did we have here? Inspect, then we have terraform and move bridge body. The last two. Instantiate specific soft body handler. Still thinking about these, actually. We might improve this as well. One sec. Okay. We don't want attribute handler here, we want world object. And then instantiate specifics. Yeah. And that was the last action, I think, so far. Occupier available sit occupier. Here we're gonna do I think we're gonna make this for now. We're just gonna do get component. Yeah, and then we have our node. Outputs are all our remaining errors. Wait, runtime node, runtime node, runtime node. Interactable liable, we're gonna check this one as well. And target perform action dependency, yeah, we're gonna check that one as well. Hmm. Yeah, here we're just gonna do Okay, I think we just need to do yeah. Okay, I think that's it for this one. As for the graph, I'm gonna hold on with the graph for now because I want to update Unity so I get the latest graph functionality, because they have variable size arrays as input, if I recall correctly. And that is something I'm gonna need instead of doing it this way. Because the idea here is that we're gonna add world object, and then we're gonna have all the attributes as well. And then we're gonna have add physics object. Then we're gonna have add agent instance, and then we're gonna have all the actions, much like, and so right now we add the actions like this, but eventually we will add the actions like this. What can we do in the meantime? In this case, we will already want the host to be set here. I'm wondering, yo, what's up, Ling Ling? If we want to move this functionality to, yeah, we probably want these as agent messages, I guess. It's going pretty good today. How about you? But the risk with moving these or convert them to agent messages is, or actually we already have them as agent messages, but pretty good. Been trying to write a few levels of an RPG Maker game I liked in C, but it's hard because RPG Maker is some bullshit. Like, I remember working in RPG Maker fucking hell, like 20 years ago. I think it was RPG Maker. But isn't it, I've heard pretty good things about it these days. It's different, but yeah. I'm thinking about, like, if we would convert these into agent messages. How fast could we be able to filter? Because right now we're directly listening to what we want to know. I wonder if we could get the same result. Maybe. Mm. Yeah, you know what? I think we can handle this one in a good way. Possibly, possibly, possibly. Mm. Maybe even streamline these dependencies actually. Is processing dependency can target receive action dependency? Hmm. Then we could skip this one probably. Now what do we have? Action hold. And this one is the craziest when it comes to dependencies. Is processing dependency? Can target receive action dependency? Yeah, pretty much all of them are gonna have can target receive dependency. It's not processing dependency. It's not processing dependency. Consume place. Like, I'm wondering if there's a way to do this without letting dependencies have state. That would be pretty sick. Probably not. Or you know what? Is processing dependency... The root of all evil in programming state. Yeah. If we can avoid it, that would be great. Yes. What it all comes down to is that, like, we want to receive an agent message if it's relevant for us. Should the agent instance handle it? Maybe. The agent will receive a message. And I guess check dependencies. Not doing much polymorphism, then I take it, Ling Ling. We actually removed one class and subclass hierarchy today. Feels good. What's up, Amisha? Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one for a while. It's time for me to Git as well. But I think like the first change we did today, maybe not. Wonder what the purpose for protected would be if you don't have a base class. Protected implies polymorphism, but all polymorphism doesn't imply protected, or something. Yeah. Okay, I gotta jump off. On Monday, we will hopefully continue this and have a good battle plan. The changes we have done so far works with this system. I would like to... So now it's a question of reworking this system for agent messages. Or just incorporate it in agent messages. Yeah, unfortunately, CoolerSK only available... I am only able to stream 2 days this week, these weeks, and it's probably going to be that until Christmas. Then we're probably back with full every day of the week streams. But yeah, now I gotta run. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Always fun. Have a great rest of the week and weekend. Peace.